Chimney Hollow Reservoir is in the valley just to the west of Carter Lake Reservoir. It's a 90,000 acre-foot reservoir. For comparison, Carter Lake is about 112,000 acre-feet of storage.
Chimney Hollow Reservoir is a regional water supply project that provides water to 12 utilities on the Front Range. In Colorado, we've had a lot of growth. In order to provide a water supply, we have to develop projects. We all recognize that water conservation is very important, and that's the first step, but that doesn't get us all the way. Not only is Chimney Hollow going to provide water supply, it's also going to be a really nice public open space run and managed by Larimer County for wakeless boating.
There will also be trails for horses and mountain biking and hiking.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeremy Deuto and I'm the project engineer for Northern Water out here on the Chimney Hollow Reservoir project. Still out here all day, every day, and welcome to the Hollow. So we're starting the tour on the other side of the project up at the Bald Mountain Interconnect where we tie into the Colorado Big Thompson project. And in the previous tours we have started over there across the valley, probably about 1.5 miles across and a little bit below us at the house with the green roof. From up here it's a great view. It's almost better than the overlook. I don't know which one's better, but you could see Carter Lake beyond the hogback over there, and you could see Flatiron Reservoir and the Hanson Feeder Canal that takes the water all the way up to Horsetooth. The site looks completely different from the overlook when we're viewing it from this vantage point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out the same features that I pointed out last time, but they look different because we're looking different ways. So down there you can see the downstream portal to the tunnel. You can see the beginnings of the upstream portal. It's just behind that white tent right there. You can obviously see the main dam with the right abutment visible to us. Remember, if you're looking at the dam with water behind you, it's right abutment and left abutment. Right below me, you can see the excavation for the Chimney Hollow conduit, which is almost all the way up to Bald Mountain. You can also see the county road that we built for Larimer County to access their parking area. And their parking area, it's actually really cool, down there where Wallow is based out of, the yellow asphalt plant. But we worked with the county to build Wallow's area, or Wallow's laydown area, to the county specification. So when the project is done, the county will just come in, put in some curb and gutter, and pave it, and they have a parking area for their recreation facilities. All right, well, let's get this tour started. First stop is down there at those blue tarps in the conduit. All right, here we are inside the Chimney Hollow conduit. This upper part of the conduit is about 5,000 linear feet, and in that 5,000 linear feet, we have over 200 welds, or 200 joints that need to be welded. And there's two separate kinds of joints. Up here, where the pressures are lower, we have a lap joint, which takes about 2.5 hours to weld, and then about 1,300 feet from where we are downhill, down pipe, they're butt joints. And now those take about 2.5 days because it's a whole different type of joint, much higher pressures, and 2.5 days is a long time to spend on one joint. So like I said, here we are inside a 6-foot tunnel, nothing small about Chimney Hollow, 2.5 hour welds up here and 2.5 days down there. All right. So we just left the conduit where they were doing the welding way up there, and it's complete all the way down here. And what you see right there is a thrust block, and that's a thrust block is where the pipe angle changes. You need that to keep the pipe from moving. And in the essence of nothing small about Chimney Hollow, that's a 900 cubic yard thrust block, which is big. But I'm standing here in the beginnings of the spillway for the reservoir, and it's going to be a box culvert spillway that's going to be buried. And what you see behind me is the beginnings. It's starting to take shape. So the slabs have been placed, and these are the rebars in place for the walls, and then they're going to build a top on it as well. And it's going to be actually slip formed. So as they pour the slabs or as they pour the box culvert, it's going to move uphill. So as part of the safety culture that Barnard has established out here, every feature of work that we go to, there's a separate job hazard analysis or JHA that we have to review and sign out before you go inside the area. And it's really good. It lists the environmental concerns, what work is going to be completed, the hazards, and how to mitigate it. So every time you see us signing these in. Down in the valve house construction area. It's pretty neat. Well, it's actually pretty loud. I'm hoping that everybody can hear me, but I mean, it is an active construction site, and guys are working trying to get this done. But that being said, what's going on behind me is they're getting ready to place one of the slabs of the valve house. So normally on a normal slab for like a house, slabs are only about 4 inches thick. If you need a really robust slab, you can get upwards of 8 inches thick for stability. Out here, these slabs are 4.5 feet thick. Okay, this is just for the foundation of the valve house, and that kind of gives an inclination of how key this structure is. We can have zero movement in this valve house. This is like the heart of the water infrastructure for Chimney Hollow Reservoir, and so these 4.5 foot thick slabs preclude or reduce the potential for any significant movement that would mess with our pipes, because the pipes aren't flexible. It's got to be strong and still. The valve house is key to delivering water to the system, and the main way that the water gets into and out of Chimney Hollow Reservoir is through our inlet outlet tunnel, which is just up and over that hill. So let's go check that out. It's pretty cool. Here at the downstream portal, or the downstream part of the tunnel, we're getting ready to go in, and as part of entrance into the tunnel here, the safety protocol calls for grabbing these brass tags, and that's basically a way to keep track of who is and who is not in the tunnel. So what you do is you sign in, put one on the entrance side, and then you keep one in your pocket. So when you're in, they know that you're in, you sign in, and you keep this with you. As soon as you come out of the tunnel, you sign out, you put your two brass tags back on the board. So here we are, 715 feet back in the outlet tunnel. We're at the very far end of the valve chamber. We're getting ready to start lining it with concrete. You can see the rebar, you can see the yellow vinyl liner. That's to stop water from coming in, because everything leaks, but it stops water because there's a bunch of critical infrastructure in here. And to talk about the actual tunneling and the lining of the tunnel, I'll pass it to the expert. This is Kyle Knably. He is the project engineer for the tunnels.
So this is our tunnel form. It's called Everest form. It's a carrier, so it carries itself through the tunnel. It's 67 feet long. It weighs 183,000 pounds. It travels its own self. So here's the actual form itself. It'll move itself through the tunnel. It'll change profiles 3 different times, starting in the largest, which this is our valve chamber. So this is our largest profile at 30 feet diameter on the outside, 26 on the inside. We go then to a circular, smaller tunnel, and then into a horseshoe, so the form carrier will configure into all 3 profiles. It also has the capability of raising and lowering itself and placing for 775 feet.
I'm at the farthest point of the downstream tunnel, which is the large diameter tunnel. The upstream portion of the tunnel is only 11 foot diameter, and that's 1,200 feet long. It's 715 feet to right here. And so they mined this entire thing, and now they're coming back from the upper end, mining towards this area. And if they hit it right, the pipeline should come out about right there, because it's elevated, and just the way that the elevations in the project need to be, it's going to pop out up there. Back out of the tunnel, replacing my brass, 130. Everywhere we go, we're signing in and signing out. And there's always going to be a color hidden in here somewhere to make sure that when somebody asks you, to kind of prove that you read it actually thoroughly and didn't just pencil whip it and say, yep, we're good. So color is green, by the way, so in case anybody asks me. I'm standing at the toe of the downstream embankment of the main dam of the Chimney Hollow Reservoir. And it's a pretty impressive structure, as you can see. It looks, if you've been to Carter Lake or Horsetooth Reservoir up here in northern Colorado, it looks a lot like the embankments at those reservoirs, and it's the same style of embankment. Even though this is an asphalt core, those are clay core dams. The design nature of the shells are pretty much the same. And you know, this is about 40 feet above me, and we've got only about 310 more feet to go. But as I'll talk about in a second, we're almost 80 feet up, and what that tells you is this was original grade, but when we were down in the bottom previously, that was 80 feet below where we were, so we had to go down a lot before we started coming up. Right now we're in the middle of the action on the embankment construction, and there is a lot going on, and behind me you can see a D9 pushing zone 4 material. You can see, oh look, there's a 777's about to dump, and remember that those are 100-ton haul trucks, so that's 100 tons of material that 777's about to dump. And it's pretty challenging to back those things up and dump, and so there's a lot of communication I'm sure you can hear going on right here between the operator of the dozer, the operator of the haul truck, and the operators of the rollers over there. You can see rollers helping compact the material. And then this guy right here, he's breaking up any oversized material that may come in, because remember, Zone 4 has to be 2 feet or smaller, so if a larger size rock comes through, it's totally fine. This guy will just break it up with his rock hammer. And yeah, the 777's gonna dump here any second. There we go, it's dumping. All right, 100 tons. And remember, one dump every 2 minutes, 20 hours a day for 2.5 years is what we got to do to keep this on schedule. And 2 minutes ago, there was a truck here dumping. Now there's another one coming, and I bet in 30 seconds we'll see another one coming down the haul road. So right here, I'm standing above the deepest part of the excavation before we started placing fill. And I'm about 85 feet up from where that point was in about 8 months. So we started October 16th, 2022. We're already up 85 feet. This Zone 1 material was placed, it was done being placed about 10 o'clock this morning, and right now we're going on almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I could still feel the heat radiating off it. Yeah, it can't really touch it because it's still so hot. And what the asphalt's placed at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit as it's placing down, and it just takes a long time to cool. So as part of our commitment to quality out here at Chimney Hollow Reservoir, we test everything a lot, and we test it at the point of manufacture, at the point of placement, in place, and what we're actually doing here is an in-place plate load test. And the reason that we're standing underneath, and those guys are actually parked underneath a fully loaded 777, if you remember, that's 100 tons plus the truck, that's 280 tons, is just the pressures that are involved with this. And I think Russ with Kleinfelder can help me explain it better than I can.
First thing I need to ask you is, what's the color of the day on the JHA?
Green.
All right. We're getting ready to do a plate load test. And essentially what we're doing is we're applying pressure to the Zone 4 embankment, and we're evaluating the deflection. And from these numbers that we get, I'll give the numbers to the engineer, and he can evaluate the modulus of the embankment, like in a seismic event, for example.
So earlier I said we were going to go to the quarry, and unfortunately we can't, but for a very good reason, because there's going to be a blast in the quarry, and we got 10 seconds to a blast, so here you go everybody. Blast at Chimney Hollow Reservoir.
Fire in the hole. all personnel, the shot has been fired. Guards, please remain in position until the shot has been cleared.
No matter how many blasts I've seen, they never get old. So right now we're at the upstream portal of the Chimney Hollow tunnel. And this looks similar but completely different than the downstream tunnel. And the biggest thing that you'll notice is this tunnel is a lot smaller. It's only 11-foot diameter. And the reason that it's only 11-foot diameter versus the 26 diameter tunnel we were just in is that all that needs to come through here is our pipeline. And so the Chimney Hollow pipeline is 72 inches if you remember. And so that's all that needs to come through here. But when it's said and done, the rest of the tunnel will be backfilled with concrete. So right now they're about 235 feet back out of a total of about 1,200. And like I was just talking about, this part of the tunnel is going to come into our valve chamber where we just were elevated, so the pipeline can stay at a constant grade through the tunnel. It doesn't have any big adjustments where we need a thrust block, so that's why it's going to come in so high in the valve chamber. Standing on top of the cofferdam right now, and if you'll remember from some of our previous videos, the cofferdam is a temporary dam installed strictly to control stormwater and groundwater for the main dam construction. And it's doing its job. If you can see behind me, it's actually got quite a bit of water in it, and it's been a very wet spring this year in May of 23, and the watershed that you can see behind me has received a lot of rain. It all drains to right here. And the dam is doing its job. And we monitor the dam height on a daily basis, or the reservoir height, the reservoir elevation on a daily basis via these sat gauges down here. And it's slowly coming up with the precipitation, but we've still got a lot of storage space in the reservoir to contain more storms. So we're gonna head back to the back of the reservoir to look at the saddle dam. That's recently started construction again, and it's actually going good, and it's pretty cool to look at. Two and a half miles back from the main dam is the saddle dam, and I'm standing right in the middle of the saddle dam foundation excavation. And what you'll notice is that it's smaller than the main dam, but it's a key piece of the Chimney Hollow Reservoir system. The valley goes up, and then back here it starts to go back again. So this saddle dam is at the high point in the valley, enabling an additional 30% of water to be stored just behind this 45-foot tall dam. And now this dam is different than the main dam. If you remember, the main dam is an asphalt core rock-filled dam. This one is a clay core rock-filled dam, which is the same thing, but the clay is what the low permeability part of the dam instead of the asphalt, because there isn't enough clay to build the giant dam, main dam at Chimney Hollow, but there is enough clay on site to build this small saddle dam. And the saddle dam has the same technology. It has a grouting curtain beneath it, but instead of going 230 feet below our feet, it goes about 70 feet at its deepest, but still performs the same thing. It stops the water from wanting to travel underneath the clay core part of the structure and reduces seepage significantly. So now we're going to hop on the what we call the Saddle Dam Access Road, and it's a road that goes from the Larimer County parking area, or currently the Wallow laydown area, all the way to the back. It's 3.5 miles long, and let's go check it out. So on the Saddle Dam Access Road, there are a bunch of very large culverts, and the reason the engineer designed these culverts to be so large is this Saddle Dam Access Road is actually a dam safety component, and it enables Northern Water and our crews to get back to the back in the event of emergency, meaning a very high flow event or something, a big heavy rainstorm, to perform any inspections or to bring any equipment to make any sort of repairs. And so this road was designed to pass over the 100-year flood event. Well, thanks for coming along on our summer of 2023 virtual tour out here at Chimney Hollow. We're going to be doing another one again in the fall, and as you can see, if you've seen our other ones, you can see progress happen in each one of these videos. And so hope you enjoyed it, and come and check us out in the fall. Thanks again, everybody.